So, welcome back to this series of converting, reclassifying your commercial vehicle in Portugal to a dormitorio special so you can sleep in it legally and have your own self-build conversion done. So, as you heard in part 5, we had to go to take the van to get it looked at by the engineer in our local office. He approved it. He gave us a piece of paper to take to customs. Now, this was something we weren't expecting, and it was more hassle and stress than we wanted. So, we went to the office, and the first person who saw us made it very, very difficult. In fact, it seemed like he was not going to allow this. Now, by this time, we'd have approval from the Coimbra office of the IMT. We'd have approval from the our local IMT Transport Authority office. Basically, this was a formality for customs. They just had to reclassify it, tell us if we needed to pay any fees or duty on it, and if we did, we'd pay it. If we didn't, they would give us a piece of paper. However, this one guy took it upon himself to be the most obstructive person I've ever faced in bureaucracy. And even when I'd got the manager on my side agreeing that everything was okay, and the other staff members were helping me out and being really friendly, this particular person was still being obstructive. And he asks for original copies of the project, which I didn't have. And this is why I said earlier on in the videos, definitely copy your project so you can just show it to him. Because he looked at me and I had an email from my engineer with the project on it, but it wasn't signed. And he started arguing about that. And I'm saying, well, I haven't got the original. I gave it into IMT. Anyway, that got smoothed over. And then he asked for a receipt for when we matriculated the vehicle, even though it was for the duty that I'd paid to his office. He wanted proof that I'd paid it, even though I'd done it on his system, the system of their customs authority. So I found that. Next thing I had to find. He asked me for proof of my NIF number, my passport details, and my proof of residency in Portugal. Luckily, I had all of these documents with me, and that is the top tip. When you go to any of these places, but particularly our experience was at customs, you need to have every piece of documentation, every receipt, everything to do with your vehicle, your residency, your identity, all of that, have that, and your NIF number, every thing that you've got, official document, take it with you. That is my top tip. So, he was arguing the case that we could just put in, how did he know that we didn't have a cooker and plumbing, gas plumbing and things like that, to the point where we had to agree for him to come and take photos of our van so he would be happy, even though he wasn't the manager. And the manager was apologising about this guy. But for some reason, this guy had this sort of authority, so we had to downplay it. We had to make sure that we did everything for him. I was incredibly calm. I kept calm. I kept polite and respectful. This is really, really important. He was definitely trying to wind me up. He was definitely trying to make me angry. And then it would have been very easy for him to not approve the process. He knew that he had full authority. So definitely, I was always respectful, always polite. I thanked him profusely at the end when he eventually did give me the document I needed to take back to the IMT local office where my engineer was waiting for me to come back to. Okay, so that's the end of part 6. Probably the most stressful bit. And in this video up here, you'll see, in about the middle of it, you'll see me just coming out of the office, still stressing. Anyway, that bit over. With these information, these top tips, it shouldn't be so stressful for you. So, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to find out about the next part of the process in part 7.